Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, traders from around the world. It's Alan from Wall Street to EasyStreet.com. Currently, it is Sunday, the 9th of November, 2014. And what we're doing right now is we're going to take a look at doing our weekend prep for the trading week coming up. So, what we want to do is we want to get a nice overview of the coming week, so we don't get any surprises. We're going to know what news events are coming out that we need to be able to trade around, or kind of get an idea of the tone of the market. So far this year, we've done great. For the year so far, at 3,458 pips. So hopefully we can continue that good trading on into next year. During the trading week, I always have my web page open here to my edge, and usually have it set right about this area where I can see the chat box. I can see the economic calendar, so I got some minute to minute heads up on the economic events, and I can see the Dukas copy videos as they come out. And also I've got news down here at the bottom, a couple of news sources here. So I've got some live news. However, on the weekend, usually I come here to Forex Factory. They just have the easiest calendar to work with. Any economic calendar will do just fine. And you can see we have all these different news events. Most of these we don't want to be concerned with, so we want to filter them out so we get a better view. Alright, so we're going to come up here and click on filter, and we're going to turn off the yellows. We don't need to know those. Turn off the oranges too, the yellows and oranges. We're going to leave the whites. I'll show you why here in a second. I'll apply that filter. Alright, so these are the ones we need to be concerned about. So Sunday looks like we have some 8:30 news that from out of China that may get the markets moving a little bit on Sunday today. We've got some Aussie news there Monday, 7:30. So not a whole lot going on Monday, which is typical after NFP Friday. Tuesday we've got holidays, and that's why we leave the whites in there, so we pick up those holidays so we don't get all prepared to trade and find out all the market centers are closed. New Zealand, I'm not going to worry about too much. Don't trade New Zealand news. Wednesday, some pound news. So really pretty light on the news this week. So the markets will probably remain pretty quiet. That's what I would expect anyway, without major news releases coming out. Anyway, then we're going to come down here and I'm going to click on snippet. And I'm going to save a copy of this. To my November file. So I can print that out later. Have a copy right in front of me at all times. Then I'm going to come over here to Forex Live, just to see what the latest headlines are. See if there's anything interesting. I'll read through some of these headlines. After that, I'll get back to perusing the charts. Usually I'll scrunch this up a little bit so I get a good picture of how the markets went. This is our NFP spike we had Friday. So we had all that profit taking on Friday. Then we're going to go back and review some of our charts for the week. This was a trade here that was a range break. You can see we have a nice resistance here all the way across the top, and some nice buying pressure leading up to the breakout. So this is really almost a textbook range break. To be a textbook range break, we would have needed another low down here at the bottom, because we want at least two highs and two lows in the range, equal highs and equal lows. But this had quite a bit of buying pressure to it, so it was almost a given when it went to break out that we're going to get our 11 pips on that one. Not every trade is a textbook. You have to be watching the charts and watching the orders coming in, and when you see an edge, you jump in and take it. These trades here, both of them are just pure price action trades, and it's hard to look at a chart because it's not moving. But when I was looking at this chart here, you can see we have this nice range right here, and we had traded back up to the range again, and then we had a news release that came out that got the market excited, and the sell orders started coming in. So I took this trade here, entered right here, and basically it just had to do with seeing those sell orders coming in and knowing I should be able to, if nothing else, ride that down here to around this bottom of this range right here, and either close at the bottom of the range or around our 10 pip exit. So that's exactly what we did. The market did continue down, and as soon as we got this little one candle pullback here, it was obvious that the downward pressure was going to continue, so jumped in again for another quick scalp. And we took 14 pips on that one. So those are both pure price action trades. They really had to do with the action that was going on in the markets right now that kind of gives you a heads up. It would have been nice to, be able to say enter here and run this down, catch this whole move, but that's all hindsight trading, and you cannot ever hindsight trade. When you look here at where the price action is, we don't know how big the move is going to be. The price came down here, and you can see it at the bottom of this range. It could have just as easily took off and went back up as it dropped. At the time, we don't know which way it's going to go. We just trade what we see on the chart. This trade here, this was a range break trade, and I entered on one computer and exited on another computer. That's why you don't see the triangles down here. But basically, we had this range here, and we entered on the when we come up here to this area of, we have this area right here of resistance. We came back up to resistance again, pulled back, and when we started back out of that resistance, went ahead and took this long as a range break trade, and stayed with it, and was able to pull 21 pips out on this trade here. So that was typical of a range break trade. This trade here, I had missed the entry here on the breakout of this range, this trading range right here. So unfortunately, that would have been another nice textbook range break, but we don't get to catch them all. And I managed to miss the entry. So I just kept watching it, and then we got this little small kind of first break set up here. So you can see the market's continuing up, and we got this high out of our range break. Then we got a couple of fast moving candles back down to our support area, and that gives us almost a textbook first break. So I went long on that first break and rode that one up for 24 pips. That was a nice trade there. And finally, here's one you're not going to see very often, and that's a loser. That's because I don't have very many losers. But in this case, when I was watching the markets, it appeared that the markets were finally starting to wake up and move. So we broke out of the range, pulled back into the range here real quick. So I took this based on a like a first break setup, and unfortunately had to close it out here for a 10 pip loss. But that's the way it goes sometimes. You can't win them all. Trust me, I've tried to win them all, and you just can't do it. So that's some good examples of our trades for the week. All right, now we're back to our current chart. And one thing I wanted to point out here is when you have a chart that looks like this, especially if you're a new trader starting out, just sit back and watch. Try not to trade a chart that looks like this, because when they're all over the place, it's very hard to find an edge. When you're a new trader starting out, you need all the edge you can get. So we'll back this up here a little bit. When you get a chart like this, where you can easily see that you're trading from the lower left to the upper right, then that's the kind of chart you want to be trading as a new trader. You have the trend on your side. So with the trend on your side, you start looking for long entries. And if you happen to make some bad entries, you were too quick on the draw, or wasn't fast enough to get in the trade when you should have, the trend a lot of times will continue on up and kind of help you out there a little bit. So when you're a new trader, look for these trending markets like this to trade. And when they're not trending, just stay on the sideline. It'll save you a lot of money versus trying to trade a market like this. All right, I hope you all enjoyed watching the video here and seeing some of the trades that we made for the week. And get your market prep done so you'll be ready to trade.